Hello again to each and every single one of you from the information superhighway users to the newest edition of the weekly series of Weird Mind Newsroom, where this week we will have a bit of a much shorter week with a selection of new releases, some trailers in focus, and some of the news stories we have in another week. Let's not waste over time in these introductions. Let's get talking about all things media that we do have in particular for this week.
Unleash the beast, Don! Okay then.
Our first release of the week is the focus that in life we will come across points in time that you'll never know when we'll come from the journey from great memories and loved ones that will feel that if it was a chance to experience them all again in a new light, will you go through that door and experience it from a new perspective? As we have the release of an all-new film project that kind of answers that question with a new film of a big, bold, beautiful journey. Then the film will follow Sarah, played by Margot Robbie, and David, played by Colin Farrell, a pair of strangers who, through a surprising twist of fate, will see them on a journey of getting to relive important moments from their respective pasts, illuminating how they got to where they are in the present. Now, reception on this film has not been the best received, as while the praise, the concept, and the performances of the two main leads are present, the film becomes a bit too convoluted in its execution, and some of the themes may not leave some people a lot more confused than kind of entranced. But if you want to check it out for yourself, you can catch this new film currently out now in cinemas. Then the first of two shows that we have in focus for this week, besides the new release of another Futurama season, it's time the time frame for the summer break has wrapped up for so many, and it's time to go back into higher education, and will be a start for some new lessons and forms. But instead of the usual fare of the normal fields of education, we have more of the powers one possesses and how in a changing world around them, what will carve the whole ordeal. As a new term is in session, as we have the release of the second season of the popular boys spin-off of Gen V. Then the second season of this series will follow on from the events of season 4 of The Boys, with the US now under the rule of Homelander's reign, and we'll see Marie and the rest of the inmates return to the school of Condalkin after the effects of the attack on the school from the end of the first season, with a new dean having taken over looking to turn soups into soldiers. Soon, with the threat of a war on the brink of breaking out between humans and soups, the team will soon discover a program that will probably change everything. Marie may be the one person that could be the key to resolve everything. Now, reception on this new season, like the first one, has been very well received, with praise has been given to the new more established story and working of the overarching story of the universe, and respectively writing off a character from a tragic past and that happened in real life. Though some have established that this season takes a bit of time to get into at the start, but picks up as it goes on. And if you're all set for a new semester, then you can catch the first 3 episodes now on Amazon Prime, with a new episode releasing every Wednesday. And for our second show of the week in focus, we give a case to the likes of crime, murder, and mystery is one thing that will take some time, for a fair bit of time and focus, to find a solution to all of this ordeal. But in the case of this crime division, they have one that will have the secret weapon of someone that can foretell the crime through a special ability. As we have the return of the crime drama to clean up the act, as we have the release of the second season of High Potential. Now, the series will of course continue the story of Morgan, a single mom of 3 who works as a cleaner for a police department, where her unique ability has helped solve cases the department seems to have struggled to figure out. And from the end of the previous season, we'll have her getting too close to the truth for a serial killer known as the Game Maker. Must find a way to keep her family safe and solve the mystery before anything else falls apart. Now, reception on the new season so far, like the previous one, has seen some well-received reviews, with praise for its overarching narrative and humor, as well as the lead performance of Caitlin Olsen being a joy to watch solve the case. If you want to check it out for yourself, then you can watch the first episode now on Disney Plus and Hulu, with a new episode releasing every Tuesday. And our final new release for this week is one that's focused on the big game. We're returning to a world that's seen the form of a virus taking a hold of a country by the neck and turned many of the forces into the undead, ones that become more dangerous at night and those surviving taking in the art of the free-running parkour to survive. And in this case, we come back to a character first brought to attention a few years ago, whose fate has been left up in the air for some time. But it's now time for him to be unleashed once again, as we have the release of the newest entry in the popular series of Dying Light, The Beast. Taking place after the ending of the following, the game will have you play as original protagonist Kyle Crane, who after his transformation into a form of the undead known as the Volatile, he's soon captured by the Global Relief Effort, or the GRE, and taken prisoner by a mysterious figure known as the Baron. After 13 years of experimentation and torture, Crane soon escapes and, infused with both human and zombie DNA, will go on a revenge quest against the Baron, who also having to fight with the beast within himself. Now, reception on this new title in this series has seen some well-received reception and praise of the gameplay, narrative, characters, and blending of new powers and modes, at least many narrative choices in the process, even though some case maybe feel like some updates may be needed, but I'm sure it'll be worth a try. And if you want to play it for yourself, the game is available to play now on PS5, Xbox Series X and S and PC, with a PS4 and Xbox One version releasing sometime later this year. And with all that regards now, that's all the new releases that we do have for this week.
My Anaconda don't want none unless you got buns, hun.
On the first trailer we have in focus for this week is in the realm of taking a look and perspective to the life and career of another famous face in the industry. I think we've seen over the many years from musicians, famous faces, and other people that are taken from us too soon or still with us to this day. And some there we kept to legend to the eyes of many, and in this case we're taking a look at not a full life but a part of a life to legend that is often known as the boss. As we take a look at the point of their life and career that brought a massive change for the better, as we receive the second and presumed possibly final trailer for the upcoming biopic of Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. Now, the film will be set in the early 80s and will follow in the creation of Springsteen's 1982 album of Nebraska, where he was a young musician on the cusp of global superstardom, while struggling to reconcile the pressures of success with the ghosts of his past. It was to say that, like mentioned last time, I like the approach of the character perspective the filmmaker will do to tell the life and story of some famous faces. As I know myself, I may not be over familiar with Springsteen's music, though some of his songs I will say are really great, and I'm sure with the release of this project it may appeal more to me with seeing it and going off of the recent reception at the film festivals for this movie. It seems to be a very strong hit and success and could be another potential award season winner. I'm sure it'll be well worth it checking out when the film plays its way into cinemas from about a month's time on the 24th of October. The third trailer that we have this week is in the case that we have seen many focus projects get the form of a reboot aesthetic, but what if the base of the film itself was making the film in the film that was remade to the original classic film? Well, it seems with this new take on the project that seems to be the case, and have to wonder in this aspect if they don't want none unless they got some buns on. As we have received the trailer for the upcoming new take on the popular 90s cult classic of Anaconda. And the film will follow Doug, played by Jack Black, and Griff, played by Paul Rudd, two men going through the stages of a midlife crisis, who decide to head into the Amazon rainforest to remake their favorite film of their youth of Anaconda. But everything changes when a real giant anaconda shows up, turning the comically chaotic set into a deadly situation, and the movie they are dying to make might end up killing them instead. So I kind of remember the announcement of this project was, I think it was like the end of last year or something like that, and it was a case I was wondering what they would add or revise to the original film. But I can see from this approach of the trailer that is giving me the vibe of another popular project from years ago, which is of course Tropic Thunder, which was a film about them making a war film and it becoming a much more dire outcome when they find themselves in the middle of an actual ongoing conflict and war. It seems like it could be one of those projects that could appeal in some comedy and some small elements of scares of a creature feature. And in all sense, I'm a little more interested in seeing this project, and I'm sure it'll be well worth seeing how it all plays out when the creature feature is unleashed into cinemas for around Christmas of this year. The last of the trailers for this week is providing a sense of pizzazz, as we have seen the likes and elements over time of the concept of magic for the use of card tricks, top hats with rabbits, and wave a wand, just to name a few. But what if the case behind the element of illusion is used for other things, such as crime, and where the job is too small for an elaborate group, they'll need some more new tricks at the hand to help them out, as the Four Horsemen are back once more with the release of the second and probably final trailer for the third entry of the series with Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Now in the case of this new film, the film will see the magic group thieves of the Four Horsemen reunite after separating some time ago and have recruited 3 new highly talented illusion magicians and bring them in for a heist with them to steal the largest queen diamond in the world from a family of crime syndicate and deal with the consequences for the use of magic. Now it's always an interesting idea of making something appealing in the form of a heist film in some form and unique ways. I see the likes of some of this can appeal with how they use magic to obtain some items under the noses of others. I can see like it will be interesting to what form of tricks they will have up their sleeve for this time around, and if the new additions will add some charm to the trick or leave a feeling the secret has been revealed. But I guess we'll find out soon in due time with the release of the new film in just about 2 months time on the 14th of November. And with that regards there as well, that's all the trailers that we do have for this week.
Pluck my life.
Now on the news, and the first of our stories this week is giving a little bit of a focus and discussion to some of the award season elements, as last Sunday we had the annual Emmys come and go, with the focus of some of the last year's best of television find themselves in with a chance to win some of the big awards. And in the case, I'll give a kind of look at the awards shows itself and give a quick rundown of the biggest winners from the event and some of the highlights and focus as well too. And for the time now, I will delve into the focus talking what to expect from this year's winners. So in the basis of the biggest winning show of the night, it seems to be the same with the both normal and creative arts Emmys, with the big winner going to Apple TV Plus's show of The Studio, winning a combined total of 13 awards of its 23 nominations, which includes Best Comedy Series and Lead Performance for Seth Rogen, with a good 10 of them coming from the main Emmys and a few from the creative arts ones, and making it the biggest winner of the Emmys overall this year. Then coming in with second with most wins was the limited series of The Penguin, with 9 of its 24 of its main Emmys, including Christine Milioti winning for her performance as Sophia Falcone, which I felt was well well deserved. She's fucking great in that show. Then there was a bit of a third place mix that while one is similar in both, being the SNL 50th anniversary special, winning 7 of its 12 nominations, including the win for the Variety Live Show special. And then the other two big ones from the event getting a third place win was with Severance winning 8 of its 27 nominations, including for Britt Lauer for lead actress and Jamal Tillman for supporting actor. And lastly, the case of Netflix's limited series of Adolescence, winning a total of 6 of its 13 nominations, which includes Best Limited Series, Best Lead for Stephen Graham, and in a new history win as 15-year-old Saoirse Cooper, winning for Best Supporting Actor for Limited Series, making him the youngest actor in the history of the Emmys. Now, it was a mix of surprises as well, where the previous year or 2 years ago, the series of The Last of Us was sweeping many of the awards of the creative side, but came away with no wins of its entire 16 nominations this year. Though in case it was a bit of a tough contest, Season 2 had a bit sort of a mixed appeal given the plot focus of the season from the divisive second game. I'm sure Season 3 may bring that appeal back, given the case a lot of people say the second half of the second game is pretty much stronger. Another award drawing that got overlooked was with The Bear, also not winning anything from its events, even with the 13 nominations it got this year as well. Now, one big one that I can at least be a positive approach with this was with the case that Stephen Colbert's Late Night Talk Show won itself an Emmy for Late Night Talk Show for Best Show, even after it was cancelled due to the whole climate in the US, a situation that really got kicked off again this week that I'm not getting into in particular, but you probably know what I'm talking about, that I feel may help bring it back in a confusing time, but it's really hard to say. But in all regards, overall, most of the wins of the show seem to be well deserving, and some surprises ones as well, that seems to have a proper chance may get snubbed or beaten by a better release that you probably think was deserved better, but I'd say it was well worth to look at these shows over time and see what entertainment will be the big nominations for next year's show. But in all regards, I want to know what you think of these nominations. Do you think many of these were well deserved, and what would you have wanted to win in different categories, and if you had the choice, what would you have nominated in each of these categories in particular? Let me know what you think down below in the comments. We can all chat about them there. And our second and final news story for this week is in the focus some discussion of some updates to a certain few projects, including new release changes, announcements, and some rumors too for this week. And in the case for this one, we'll delve into the running through what's expected from the upcoming projects that mainly are all coming from next year, but let's delve into it. So the first of the basis of two elements with the focus of some new additions to an upcoming project, as well as changes in release, as earlier this week we got a bit of some new additions being added to the upcoming third film of the video game adaptation of the Angry Birds movies, with the confirmation that YouTuber Salish Matter and biggest YouTuber star Mr. Beast had been both confirmed for the new casting of the film. In addition, that both Smosh creatives of Ian Hecox and Anthony Padilla will also be coming back for the new third film with their voices of Bubbles and Hal respectively. Now, it was not that the only confirmed announcement to come along with this as well, as the new film will be releasing much earlier, as it's now set for release on December 23rd of 2026. Now, the additions are fine in that case with the casting stuff, but I can see from the release date change, may see it get absolutely demolished at the box office, as it's releasing 5 days after two big December films of Avengers Doomsday and Dune Part 3, or Dune Messiah. So I feel they made her don't see this as competition, or else they will delay it back to the original date, or release it at a new date or something like that, but things are really unclear at the moment. But it's the case depending as well what people will be going to at Christmas. I'm sure we'll probably be worked about, and we'll probably go and watch this at some point in case, and if there's any updates about a new release date or anything like that, or more new casting additions, of course I will provide them in a later episode. Then our next story in focus will be us play the music and time for them to light the lights, as it seems earlier this week we have the announcement that sometime next year we may see the return of the Muppet Show Tonight. Because earlier this week it was announced that a new special of these popular Jim Henson creations will be made and getting released sometime next year. That'll be produced by Seth Rogen, and confirmed that the guest star for this special will be of course music superstar Sabrina Carpenter. Now, it is labeled currently as a special, but it's also planned as a form of a backdoor pilot in order for it to be a case of bringing back the Muppet Show back in an all-new series, with it coinciding with the 50th anniversary of the original series first airing back in the 70s, if it all works out as a success. Now, personally, I'm all for getting a new take on these colourful characters. The world needs more content with the Muppets, given Disney is really kind of sleeping on these characters and only use them in drips and drabs here and there, and it's about time for them to return to the spotlight, and I'm all for checking them out. Now, currently there's no set date release for next year, but of course if there's any new updates, I will provide them, of course, in a later episode of that aspect. Now, next up, we got some release window updates for a couple of shows coming to us from HBO Max, with the first being a case that after extended delays and questioning if the series was still even happening, it is now been confirmed that the third season of the award-winning series of Euphoria will be releasing in the spring of next year, and seeing how it will wrap up some loose ends from the end of the last season's, kind of story questions. As for the other shows getting announced, we are heading over to the lands of Westeros into the Seven Kingdoms, as we have gotten confirmation that we have a double bill of Game of Thrones shows coming out to us next next year. The first being the delayed second spin-off of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, confirmed for release sometime in January, and then we head back to the House of the Dragon soon after, with its first season confirmed for release in the summer. Now it sounds like a case of some of the big shows for HBO are off to a good start. In some case, we'll be interested to see what else will be arriving with it. If what I see coming along being the new series based on the Lanterns for DC is a likely possibility and possible hope for a third season of Last of Us dropping next year, but it's kind of too early to tell. I'm sure we'll see what else is on the way with the dates and all this so soon, and once I hear any more of these confirmed with actual release dates itself, I'll of course provide them in a later episode. Now lastly, unrelated to likes of physical media, we're talking about actual physical product media and stuff, as we're talking about the range of Lego being made on the likes of the popular brand series of Nintendo of Pokemon. Now we were given confirmation this was on the way back early this year, and has since been given ideas of some of these sets and prices of one or two of them, but this week we've gotten given some news in relation to some of the big ones. As reported earlier this week that we've gotten some news in relation to some reliable insiders with Lego, the series will be getting massive focus from Nintendo next year over their Mario and Animal Crossing ranges, and set to have a total of 3 waves of releases next year and about 20 sets from the big, small, junior and Brickheads ranges, with the first wave coming in late February, early March of next year, and the next two around the summer or fall. Now that's all we know besides the case of one of the confirmed sets, which is the likes of the massive set launching March 1st, coming in an eye-watering price of €650. But I guess the concept of it makes sense, as the massive set is actually building versions of the original Gen 1 Pokemon starters, with a focus of a giant buildable Charmander, Bulbasaur and Squirtle, which again would be a really great size set, though maybe a little too pricey. Then again, the resale of all Pokemon games and the trading cards are a whole other ordeal. It'll be interesting to see what these sets are if in full release, and hopefully one of these will be more pricey, you know, but on the lower end of things, and we get a big build, the iconic level Sparkster or Pikachu, but I guess we'll see over time once we see more new sets and confirmation of everything that's coming along. We'll probably get some information next few weeks, and if anything does come up about this, I'll of course buy it in a later episode. But in case, what do you think of these announcements? Do you see the Angry Birds movie casting as decent? Do you see this having a decent box office from its new release date? Are you excited for a new Muppet special and possible series? Are you looking forward to new Euphoria and Game of Thrones shows? And will you be getting any of the Lego Pokemon when it comes out next year? Let me know your thoughts down below, and with all that regards, that's all the news stories that we have for this week.
I'm going on an adventure!
And with all the regards now, that ends episode 122 of Weird Mind Newsroom, and I hope you enjoyed listening to ramblings of a madman talking all about media for another 20 minutes or so, for another week. Anyways, I'm gonna kind of fly through these conclusion stuff and give us updates of what to expect in this channel. So case reviews wise, Last of Us Part 1 and 2 of like the seasons and stuff like that, they'll be coming along eventually, so don't worry about that. I'm gonna get back to writing them. I'm gonna have some time to do a bit of a raw focus and get all these reviews written up. Snack Size box offices, I have them uploaded to my computer now. I'm going to start editing them over the next few days. I'm going to upload this first and then get this maybe during the week. 1 or 2 may have to be re-recorded depending if it's like shorter than YouTube Shorts 3 minutes kind of requirements, but we'll see in that regards. And then a lot of reviews will be coming along as well in the case of things, and to get to some of the ones that came out, there's more like Long Walk and Conjuring, stuff like that. I will get to them. Maybe I'll do one after another next week. I'm kind of a hit or miss on that show, but we'll see. But all these reviews come along, as well as some TV shows and game stuff. We'll get to that case. Speaking of games, DK Bonanza's Part 3 will be coming out some point this week as well. I have it recorded. I just have to kind of like compress it to an MP4 file and then like, you know, do some quick editing and bits and pieces here and there, and like hope make sure the audio is good and everything else is fine. It's synced up, and get that all sorted out of the way. That'll probably be coming this week. I'm gonna get back to some Mario Wonder. I'll get to some Cyberpunk. I'll get to some Star Wars. I'm probably gonna get to some horror games from the start of October. I will get to Ventilate as well. I'm gonna make some hope and promise to someone who made that game. I'm gonna play it and stuff like that regards, but they're all come along eventually, so look forward to them. And suggest down below what horror games I should play next month. Just down below in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. In the case of long forms, like a rewatch-a-thon, that's coming along eventually. The Horror Most Bored Volume 2 is definitely going to come out this year. I might add ones, if there's any bad ones from this year, I might add them in as like kind of a bigger one for volume 2, because there's not a lot of bad ones from this year, so kind of more from the volume 2 from last year as well, this case instance. AI Honest Choice video, that is still going to come along as well. I'm going to promise someone I'm going to do that as well. I'm going to get that sorted, and then some other bits of long form bits and pieces are going to come out as well. Hope you checked out my Lego time-lapse video that looks a lamp, and I'm going to get that done. I have a few more sets coming in that I'll probably do more time-lapses on, so look forward to those, and other long form variations will be coming along too. But with all that regards now, I think I'm going to end there for now. So if you like my content, want to see more from me more frequently, then simply to like and subscribe, as I'm aiming for 500 subs, hopefully in case we get close enough to this regards, and then over time we'll build our way to 1,000 subs kind of thing. And I appreciate every single one of you who check out my stuff and watch my things here and there. I know I'm not the most entertaining, and you might be some better stuff, but I appreciate those that check out my stuff. Anyways, in that regards, let me know your thoughts on everything discussed down below as well, from all the new releases, trailers, and news. If you've seen any of this stuff, what your thoughts on it are, I'd love to hear all about it and have a conversation down below. But with that regards now, I'm going to end the episode there for now. So of course, as always, you all stay being wonderful people. Have a great day every day. Do many great things. Keeping you because no one else can do what you do. Take care of yourself because mental health is important, especially this month because it's Mental Health Awareness Month. Check in on your friends, check in on your loved ones, make sure everything's okay because you never know what they're going through. And that regards there as well, I'm going to end there for now. And as always, stay being wonderful people. You're always welcome here in this community, and I'll see you all in the next one. So take care, and I'll see you later.